My mother looked me straight in the eye and said I wasn't welcome at Christmas anymore, after I'd spent 15 years organizing every detail of our family holidays. What she didn't know was that I'd just discovered bank statements proving she'd been stealing from me for over a decade. This is the story of how one phone call led me to expose the darkest secrets my family had been hiding, and how I finally took back everything they'd stolen from me. My name is Anna, and I'm 32 years old. For most of my life, I believed I was the problem in my family. I believed I wasn't good enough, wasn't grateful enough, wasn't trying hard enough. It took me 3 decades to realize that I wasn't the problem. I was the solution they'd been exploiting. It started the way these things always start, with a phone call that seemed normal at first. "Anna, darling, we need to talk about Christmas this year." My mother Catherine's voice had that particular tone I'd learned to recognize over the years. Sweet on the surface, with something sharp underneath. I was in my apartment, sitting at my kitchen table with my laptop open, spreadsheets pulled up for the Christmas planning I'd been doing since October. Guest lists, dietary restrictions, gift coordination, timeline for food preparation. I'd been doing this since I was 17 years old. "Sure, Mom. I've actually already started on the menu. I was thinking we could do." "That's just it, sweetheart. We've decided to simplify things this year. Your father and we're not getting any younger, and we want a more intimate celebration." My stomach dropped, but I kept my voice steady. "Okay, so fewer people. That's fine, I can adjust." "No, Anna. What I'm saying is, we're having Christmas at the house, but we're keeping it to immediate family only. Just your father, myself, and Derek." Derek. My younger brother. The golden child who'd moved back home 3 years ago after his business venture collapsed and had been living rent-free in our childhood home ever since. I don't understand. I am immediate family." There was a pause. A long one. Then my mother's voice came back, and all the sweetness was gone. "Anna, you're 32 years old. You have your own life, your own apartment. Derek is going through a difficult transition right now, and he needs family support. Your father and I have decided that this year, we want to focus on helping him get back on his feet. We need a drama-free, stress-free holiday." "Drama-free? Mom, I plan everything. I do all the cooking, all the decorating, And we appreciate that, sweetie, we really do. But that's exactly the point. You make such a production out of everything. This year, we want simple. We want easy. We want peaceful." My hands were shaking. "Are you uninviting me from Christmas?" "Don't be dramatic. We're just saying that we're having a small, quiet celebration, and we think it would be best if you celebrated in your own way this year. You're always talking about how busy you are, how exhausted you are. Well, now you don't have to worry about any of it. Consider it our gift to you, a stress-free holiday." I couldn't breathe. "Mom, I've been planning our family Christmas since I was a teenager. I've never missed a single year. I've organized every detail, cooked every meal, wrapped every present." "Yes, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe you've been inserting yourself into our traditions so much that you've forgotten that Christmas isn't about you. It's about family coming together, and right now, our family needs to focus on Derek." "I'm your daughter. And Derek is our son, and he's struggling. Surely you can understand that. Surely you can put your own feelings aside for once and think about what's best for the family." That phrase, "put your feelings aside." I'd been hearing it my entire life. "So I'm not invited." "Anna, just say it, Mom. Am I invited to Christmas or not?" Another pause. Then, quietly, "No, not this year." I hung up. For about 30 seconds, I just sat there, staring at my laptop screen, at all those spreadsheets, all that planning, all that work I'd already done. Then something inside me cracked. Not broke, cracked. like ice starting to split before it shatters completely. I opened a new browser tab and logged into my email. Then I did something I'd been putting off for months. I started searching through old emails from my father's accountant. You see, 3 months earlier, I'd received an email that was clearly sent to me by mistake. It was from Harrison and Associates, the accounting firm my parents had used for years. The subject line was estate planning documents, confidential, and it was addressed to my father but CC'd to me instead of my mother. I'd opened it without thinking, and what I saw made my blood run cold. It was a summary of asset transfers over the past 15 years. Properties, investment accounts, trust funds, and there, buried in the middle of page 3, was a line item that said, Trust Fund, Anna Mitchell, dissolved 2010 funds transferred to primary account. I'd had a trust fund. My grandmother, my father's mother, had set up trust funds for both Derek and me before she died. I was supposed to receive it when I turned 25. I turned 25 in 2017, and no one had ever mentioned a trust fund to me. Not once. I'd saved that email. I'd told myself I'd ask about it eventually, but I'd been scared. Scared of what it meant, scared of the confrontation, scared of being told I was being dramatic or ungrateful or selfish. But now I wasn't scared anymore. Now I was angry. I spent the next 6 hours going through every email, every document, every piece of correspondence I could find. I called my grandmother's lawyer, the one who'd executed her will. I used the excuse that I was updating my own estate planning and wanted to understand how she'd structured things. What I discovered made me physically ill. My grandmother had left both Derek and me trust funds of $175,000 each. Derek's had been released to him when he turned 25 in 2015. He'd used it to start his business venture, a craft brewery that had failed within 18 months. My trust fund had been dissolved in 2010, when I was 19 years old. The money had been transferred to my parents' primary account. According to the documentation, the transfer had been authorized by the beneficiary, with a signature dated 3 weeks after my 19th birthday. I'd never signed anything. I'd never even known the trust fund existed. That money was supposed to be mine at 25. Instead, it had disappeared when I was 19, right before my sophomore year of college. The year I'd had to drop out because my parents said they couldn't afford tuition anymore. The year I'd moved back home and started working full-time at a call center to save money for school. The year everything had changed. I'd never gone back to college. I'd been too busy working, then helping my parents, then taking care of the house, then planning every family event, then $175,000. Gone. Stolen. And they'd used it for what? I pulled up more documents. Credit card statements my father had accidentally CC'd me on over the years. Bank statements. Transfer records. There. 2011. Major home renovation. New kitchen, new bathrooms, finished basement. Cost. $98,000. 2013. Derek's first business loan from the bank of mom and dad. Amount. $45,000. 2015. Another loan to Derek. Amount. $30,000. The pattern was clear. They'd taken my future and they'd used it to fund their present, to fund Derek's dreams, to fund their comfort. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop, and I gathered evidence. I saved every email, every document, every statement. I created a timeline. I built a case. And then I made a decision. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Her name was Patricia Chen, and she specialized in financial elder abuse and estate fraud. When I explained my situation, she was quiet for a long moment. Anna, how old were you when this transfer supposedly happened? 19. And you never signed anything authorizing it? Never. I didn't even know the trust fund existed until 3 months ago. That's forgery. That's fraud. That's theft. With interest and penalties, your parents could be looking at a lawsuit for over $300,000. My hands were shaking again, but this time it wasn't from fear. What do I need to do? First, we need to verify that signature. We'll need to get the original documents from the trust administrator. Then we'll need to file a civil suit. This is going to get ugly, Anna. Are you prepared for that? I thought about my mother's voice on the phone. You're not invited. I thought about 15 years of being the invisible organizer, the uncredited worker, the daughter who was never quite good enough. I thought about dropping out of college while Derek got to chase every dream with my money funding his failures. I'm prepared. The trust administrator was helpful once Patricia made contact. They sent over copies of all the original documents, including the transfer authorization. The signature on that document looked nothing like mine. It was barely even close. Patricia had it analyzed by a forensic document examiner. The report came back definitive. The signature was a forgery, and a poor one at that. Whoever had signed my name hadn't even tried very hard to make it convincing. We have a strong case, Patricia told me over the phone. I'm going to send a demand letter to your parents first. We'll give them 30 days to return the money plus interest, or we file suit. Fair warning, they're probably going to be angry. Let them be angry. I've been accommodating their anger my whole life. The demand letter was sent on December 10th. My mother called me 4 hours after it was delivered. What the hell is this? She was screaming. Actually screaming. A lawsuit? You're suing your own parents. You stole from me, Mom. You forged my signature and you stole my inheritance. That's not how it happened. That money was. We needed that money. Do you have any idea what we've sacrificed for you and your brother? Sacrificed? You stole my money to pay for Derek's failed businesses and your kitchen renovation. We raised you. We fed you, clothed you, put a roof over your head. That money was Grandma's. That money was Grandma's, and she left it to me. Not to you. Not to Derek. To me. And you stole it. You ungrateful little bitch. Her voice had gone cold. After everything we've done for you. After all the years we've let you be part of this family, let you organize our holidays, let you feel important. Let me. Mom, I've been doing all the work for 15 years. I've planned every holiday, cooked every meal, managed every detail, while you took credit and pretended to be the perfect mother. And here's your gratitude. A lawsuit. You know what? You're right. You're not welcome at Christmas. You're not welcome in this family anymore. Don't call, don't visit, don't contact your brother. You want to be on your own so badly? Fine. You're on your own. She hung up. I sat there with the phone in my hand, and I realized I wasn't crying. I wasn't sad. I was relieved. Derek called 20 minutes later. Anna, what the hell? Mom is losing her mind. She stole from me, Derek. They both did. That's not, look, it's complicated. That money was family money, and we needed. Derek, they gave you your full trust fund. $175,000. You got every penny. I got nothing. They forged my signature and stole my money. Silence. You didn't know that, did you? I kept going. You thought we both got our money. But no. You got yours. They took mine. They took my money and they gave it to you. Anna. His voice was smaller now. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. But you're not surprised, are you? You're not surprised that they would choose you over me. That they would steal from me to give to you. That's just how it's always been. That's not fair. No, Derek, it's not fair. None of this is fair. But it's the truth. And I'm done pretending it isn't. He hung up too. 2 days later, my father called. His voice was tired. Anna, please. Can't we work this out privately? Do we really need lawyers? Dad, did you know about the trust fund? It was your mother's idea. She said we needed the money for the renovation, and you were still young, and we'd pay you back. Did you forge my signature? Silence. Dad, did you forge my signature, or did Mom? Does it matter? It matters to me. Your mother did it. I didn't find out until after. But Anna, we were going to lose the house. We were in so much debt, and the renovation was the only way to increase the value enough to refinance. We were desperate. So you stole from your own daughter. We were going to pay you back. We had every intention. When, Dad? When were you going to pay me back? It's been 13 years. You've given Derek over $100,000 in loans that he's never repaid. You've taken vacations, bought new cars, remodeled the house again. When exactly were you planning to give me my money? Anna, please. Your mother, she's not well. This stress is killing her. Can't you just drop this? Can't we just be a family again? We were never a family, Dad. We were a performance. And I was the stagehand who made it all work while you guys took the bows. I hung up. The next 3 weeks were hell. My phone rang constantly. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all telling me I was tearing the family apart. My mother had sent out a mass email explaining that I was going through some kind of breakdown and had made terrible accusations because I was jealous of Derek's success. Derek's success. The man was 29 years old and living in his childhood bedroom. But I didn't engage. Patricia had advised me to keep all communication through her office, so that's what I did. Every call went to voicemail. Every email got forwarded to Patricia. I spent Christmas Eve alone in my apartment. I ordered Chinese food and watched movies and tried not to think about what my mother had said. You're not welcome in this family anymore. Maybe I never had been. On January 15th, we filed the lawsuit. Civil fraud, forgery, breach of fiduciary duty, and unjust enrichment. We were suing for the original $175,000, plus interest at the statutory rate, plus penalties, plus legal fees. Total, $387,000. My mother sent me one final text. I hope you're proud of yourself. You've destroyed this family. I didn't respond. The case took 11 months to go to trial. 11 months of depositions and document production and mediation attempts that went nowhere. My parents refused to settle. My mother kept insisting that I'd agreed to the transfer, that I'd understood it was for the family, that I was remembering wrong. But the evidence didn't lie. The forensic analysis proved the signature was forged. The trust administrator confirmed I'd never been contacted about any transfer. The timeline showed that my parents had spent the money on personal expenses within months of taking it. On the morning of the trial, I sat in the courtroom and watched my parents walk in. My mother looked smaller than I remembered. Older. My father wouldn't make eye contact with me. Derek wasn't there. He'd moved out of their house 6 months earlier and stopped taking their calls. He'd sent me a text in August. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I should have questioned it. I'm sorry. I hadn't responded to that either. I wasn't ready. The trial lasted 3 days. My parents' lawyer argued that the money had been used for family purposes and that I'd benefited from those improvements too, so I had no right to complain. Patricia tore that argument apart. I hadn't lived at home after 2012. I'd received no benefit from the renovation or from any of the other ways they'd spent my money. The forensic document examiner testified. The trust administrator testified. I testified. When it was my mother's turn on the stand, she cried. She talked about how hard it had been to raise two children, how stressed they'd been financially, how they'd only done what they thought was best for the family. "Did you forge your daughter's signature on the transfer document?" Patricia asked. We were going to pay her back. We always intended. Yes or no, Mrs. Mitchell? Did you forge your daughter's signature? My mother looked at me. Really looked at me, for the first time in months. Yes. The courtroom was silent. And did you ever tell your daughter about the trust fund? No. Did you ever pay her back? No. Did you give her brother his full trust fund amount? Yes. Why? Because Derek needed it. He had dreams, ambitions. Anna was always so stable, so capable. She didn't need the money the way he did. There it was. The truth. I didn't need it because I'd been too busy holding everything together. Too busy being the reliable one, the responsible one, the one who could be counted on to sacrifice. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. They found in my favor on all counts. The judgment was for $412,000, more than Patricia had asked for, because the jury added additional damages for emotional distress. My mother sobbed in the courtroom. My father just looked defeated. I felt nothing. No triumph, no vindication, no satisfaction. Just emptiness. The money was paid through the sale of their house. They had to move into a small condo. Derek called me after the verdict. "Anna, I know I don't have any right to ask this, but can you forgive them? Can you forgive me?" "I don't know," I told him honestly. "Maybe someday. But not today." Fair enough. It's been 8 months since the trial ended. I used some of the money to go back to school. I'm finishing my degree, finally. I'm 33 years old and sitting in freshman English, but I don't care. It's mine. This time, it's mine. I got a letter from my mother last month. She didn't apologize for stealing from me. She apologized for how things ended and said she hoped we could move past this someday. She said Derek was doing well, that he'd started a new job and was finally getting his life together. She said my father asked about me. She didn't say she was wrong. She didn't say she was sorry for what she took from me. I haven't responded. I don't know if I will. Sometimes I think about what my life might have been like if I'd gotten that money at 25, like I was supposed to. Maybe I'd have finished school. Maybe I'd have traveled. Maybe I'd have started my own business. Maybe I'd have become someone different. But then I think about who I am now. I'm someone who stood up for herself. Someone who refused to accept being erased. Someone who fought back when fighting back seemed impossible. Last week, I hosted a Friendsgiving at my apartment. 8 people came. Friends I've made over the past year, people who value me for who I am, not for what I can do for them. We cooked together, laughed together, made a mess of my kitchen together. One of my friends raised a glass and said, "To Anna, who taught us all that it's never too late to stand up for yourself." Everyone cheered. I looked around my small apartment at these people who chose to be there, who wanted to celebrate with me, and I realized something. I'd lost my family of origin, but I'd found something better. I'd found people who saw me. This Christmas, I'm not planning anything. I'm not organizing, not coordinating, not managing. I'm going to sleep in, make pancakes, watch movies in my pajamas, and maybe call Derek if I feel up to it. My mother was right about one thing. I'm not welcome at her Christmas anymore. But I've realized that's okay. Because I'm welcome in my own life now. And that's worth more than any family tradition. The money from the lawsuit is sitting in an investment account, growing steadily. I take out what I need for tuition and living expenses, but most of it stays there, building a future that's actually mine this time. Sometimes people ask me if I regret suing my parents, if I regret tearing my family apart. I always tell them the same thing. I didn't tear my family apart. I just stopped holding together something that had been broken for a very long time. And in doing that, I finally gave myself permission to put myself back together. My name is Anna, I'm 33 years old, and I spent the first 32 years of my life being invisible. But not anymore. Not ever again. The last time I saw my mother was in the courthouse lobby after the verdict was read. She looked at me with this expression I couldn't quite read. Anger, sadness, disbelief, maybe all three. Was it worth it? She asked. Was destroying your family worth the money? I looked at her, this woman who had given birth to me, raised me, and then spent years erasing me, and I said the truest thing I've ever said. You destroyed this family the day you decided I mattered less than everyone else's comfort. I just finally stopped cleaning up the mess. Then I walked away. I don't know what happens next. Maybe someday we'll reconcile. Maybe we won't. Maybe Derek and I will rebuild some kind of relationship. Maybe we won't. But I know this. I spent 32 years making myself smaller so everyone else could feel bigger. I spent 32 years doing the invisible work so everyone else could take the credit. I spent 32 years being told that speaking up was being dramatic, that asking for fairness was being selfish, that wanting what was rightfully mine was being greedy. I'm done with that now. When people ask me if I'm angry, I tell them no. Anger is what I felt when my mother uninvited me from Christmas. What I feel now is clarity. I see exactly who my family was and who I was within it. And I've decided to become someone else. Someone who takes up space. Someone who demands what's owed to her. Someone who refuses to disappear. My mother said we weren't celebrating Christmas with me. She thought she was punishing me. She thought she was taking something away. But all she really did was give me permission to finally put myself first. And I took it.